Hello, kiddos, my little sixth graders. Today is Tuesday, October 13th, and today we went over our spelling words that you got on Thursday last week. Your list is week 8. It's a review week, so we did not spend time highlighting words and putting them into categories or sorting them because we have so many different spelling patterns since it's a review that actually we just went through the lists and made sure we knew how to say all the words and made sure we knew what they meant. If you are orange, we did look up the word denizen, and that is a person who is an inhabitant of a place. So if you live in Alpha, you're a denizen of Alpha. It's also somebody who frequents a place. So if you always go up to the Element on Saturday mornings, you might be a denizen of the Element because you love to go get yourself a coffee. Let's see. I think that's the main part for the orange group and the red group. There weren't any words that came up that we were too worried about. The word weather in the red group is the kind of weather that's outside, the stormy kind, not whether or not you want to. This one is the kind that's like rain and snow. And then we also talked about which words we thought maybe we would be able to use for writing a creepy story, which will be coming later this week. Your assignment for spelling is to write your words in your planner and then also write them in cursive for Friday. So spelling test is Friday, cursive needs to be done by Friday. You can certainly take a picture of your cursive and dojo that picture to me, or email it to me is actually better because dojo, unless you take a really close-up picture of it, it's hard for me to see it. So I can open it and blow it up in an email. The next thing we did was we took a quiz on HMH. So you're going to need to open up your HMH tab, and you have an assignments tab here. Please click that, and I think it's probably the third assignment down. You will see where it says some kind of assessment, and it says all summer in a day. That is a 5-question quiz that if you need to pause me and go get a parent to make sure that you only take 5 or 10 minutes to take this quiz, that would be terrific. You're not supposed to go back into the text and look for answers. It says on your honor kind of a thing, so make sure that you are being honorable and not looking back in the text. As soon as you can pause me now and go ahead and take your quiz, or you can wait until you have a parent handy if you want to. And anyway, I'm going to keep on going with what else we did today. We went over IE and EI spellings. That's not it. There we go. Oh, great gravies. What did I do with it? There it is. Okay, so we just basically went across the lists and we read them out loud and said what we found to be similar in them. So for instance, number 1, handkerchief, patience, niece, and relief. You notice that all these words are spelled with an IE, but they don't all say the same thing. Handkerchief, niece, relief all say E for the IE spelling, but patience says ents. Shen. Yen. Yen. Just says N. So this one will be the oddball, but the important part here is to remember that these all follow the rule, which is whenever you aren't really sure, you should always go with I before E whenever you're spelling a word. Number 2, read the words with me. Friendly, cashier, debrief, soldier. In number 1, most of them said E. Let's see, friendly, that one says cashier, That one does say E. Debrief. That one says E. Soldier. That one says So, yeah, it's like the I isn't even part of that sound. It's just the ER sound in soldier. So these only have a couple of them follow the pattern of the making an E sound. So maybe IE doesn't always say just long E. What else? But we can all agree that all of these words are IE words. Go down to number 3 and read them with me. Audience, windshield, diesel, interview. IE, 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 IE. This says actually is 2 separate syllables. The I is a syllable and the ence is a syllable, so it's broken up. They don't even make a sound together. It's odd, E, ence. So the E and ence are separate. Windshield, hey, that says E. Diesel, that says E. Interview, that one says U, the IEW. All right, but they all follow the rule. I before E, except after C. So the rule is I before E, except after C. So we're going to spell it EI if there is a C in front of it. So we have inconceivable, receiver, conceited, deceitful. And that E or an I always makes that C say the S sound. So we have inconceivable, receiver, conceited, deceitful. All of these words have an EI because they follow a C. So the rule is I before E except after C. Then you have to switch them around to EI. There's another part of the rule. I before E except after C. And words that say A, like neighbor and way. And neighbor is spelled N-E-I-G-H, and way is spelled W-E-I. So if it has a long A sound, then you're going to do E-I instead of I-E. Reindeer, that has a long A, so it's E-I. Wait, that has a long A, so it's E-I. Veil, that has a long A sound, so it's spelled E-I. Seismic, that one does not say A, does not say E, it actually says I. So seismic activity is what's happening underground that might cause an earthquake or a volcano to erupt. So, as always, there's one that doesn't follow the rule. And then we looked at the lieutenant led his troops toward the battlefield. Lieutenant has the IE. Battlefield has IE, so it's following the rule, I before E except after C. Neither. Neither of us reviewed the words for our science quiz. Well, neither, if it follows the rule, would be I before E. You may also pronounce that neither. It does not say A, though, so it should not be EI. This is just a stinker that doesn't follow the rule. Reviewed has the IE. Science has IE except after C, so it should be EI, but I think the reason why science is spelled this way is because it's psi and then the ending ence. I think it wouldn't work right if we put an E first, because it'd be like science because of where the syllables split. I think that's why that one doesn't work quite right. But usually the rule is I before E, except after C, and words that say A, like neighbor and way. The next thing we did was look at critical vocabulary. Victorian is something, it's the Romantic style of England's 19th century Victorian era. You probably see Victorian houses in Cambridge. They have like tall pointy peaks. And they're more ornate or decorative looking. They have like swirly wood. I don't know how else to say it besides that. In England, during the Victorian era, schoolgirls wore lace-trimmed white aprons over their dresses, and schoolboys wore pants, jackets, and ankle boots. Atmosphere is the overall tone or mood of a place or a situation. We talked about the atmosphere at Buffalo Wild Wings, and we like it because it's dark and there's TV showing all the games. As people slowly found out the bad news, the atmosphere in the room changed from joyful to sorrowful. Democratic means something is available to everyone. We decided on a democratic vote. Transformed, something that is transformed is changed in a meaningful way. Associate, if you associate one idea with another, you're connecting the two ideas. Sorry, I'm hustling through here. The next thing we did, if you go back to your assignments on the HMH page, the top one has this article in it. It's called "It's More Than Just Rain or Snow or Springtime." And this is an opinion piece. And basically this is, the author wrote it to try to help, young authors use weather and things that you usually think of as just being parts of a setting, use it more to help describe the atmosphere, help tell what's going on with the character, help drive the plot. It's just the idea that the weather can have a lot more to do in a story than just, I think my computer's just going to keep doing that. It's not just telling you that it's rainy, it's telling you how somebody feels. It could be telling you that somebody just went through a really hard time in their lives. And so this is obviously on the computer, but yours might do what mine is doing, so I'm going to read it out of the text. It is found on page 109, and you really are only reading 110 to 114, and that is your reading assignment for tonight. And so I'm going to start you off on 110. It was a dark and stormy night. What? You've heard that one? Right, Snoopy. And Charles Schulz had Snoopy write it because it was a cliche. That means it's been done over and over. It had been one for a very long time, back when your favorite beagle decided to become a writer. Edward Bulwer Lytton, a famous Victorian novelist, actually did begin a bad novel with "It was a dark and stormy night." And now you know everything you need to know about dark and stormy nights, except for one thing. Why? You wondered that too, didn't you? Why would a writer want the wind howling and the rain pouring down? You may say that every story needs a setting, and that weather is part of the setting. That is true, by the way, but it isn't the whole deal. There's much more to it. Here's what I think. Weather is never just weather. It's never just rain. And that goes for snow, sun, warmth, cold, and sleet too. But let's think about rain for a moment. Rain can be a plot device. It can make the characters seek shelter, get stranded or lost or stuck somewhere, waiting for it to end. This can be very handy for an author. Rain can also bring along tons of atmosphere. It's more mysterious, murkier, more isolating than most other weather conditions. Fog is good too, of course. Then there is the misery factor. Rain can make you more wretched than anything else you'll meet in the outside world. With a little rain and a bit of wind, you can die of hypothermia on the 4th of July. And that is where I'm going to stop. So your job is to finish reading page 111. And you're not just thinking about the bad things that rain can do, but they actually tell you some of the good things that rain can do for a character or for plot. And so you're also going to be learning on 112 and 113 about what the seasons mean in writing. And you finish up on page 114. You do not have to do any questions yet. All you have to do is have this read for tomorrow. Have a lovely night. I do have a Google Meet today, so I will see you there. Please bring any questions you have. Bye-bye.